To get congressional reaction from the United Nations in New York City is Representative Chris Smith of New Jersey. He's also a representative of the U.S. to the United Nations General Assembly. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Lauren. Thanks for having me on.
Tell me what your reaction is to the president's speech, specifically his statement about North Korea.
Well, I think it was a very strong speech. He pointed out that there are existential threats being posed by both North Korea and Iran. As he pointed out, the Iran nuclear deal is egregiously flawed, and it makes it inevitable, frankly, that it's a matter of when and not if that Iran will get nuclear weapons. And certainly their ballistic missile testing, like in North Korea, threatens, in the case of North Korea, South Korea, Japan, the whole region, and even the United States as Kim builds out his mileage for those ICBMs that he's developing. So increasingly the threat is on overdrive, and I think we need to see the Chinese, as he pointed out, and the Russians do even more, especially the Chinese. He thanked the Chinese and Russians, but they have to do far more than what they've done. Xi Jinping has to step up to the plate to try to end this crisis.
What other issues are you addressing on behalf of the U.S.?
Well, I'm doing a seminar on the President's emergency plan for AIDS relief. We just are in the process of appropriating another $6 billion to try to end the pandemic of HIV/AIDS, malaria around the world, and of course the emerging threat of TB. It is now the leading killer, infectious disease killer in the world.
TB,
no one has done more than the
tuberculosis?
United States for that. Yes, tuberculosis, TB.
Yeah.
And no other infectious disease kills more than TB.
Finally, I want to ask you about something very near and dear to your heart that's happened here in Washington today. The Senate Foreign Relations Committee finally took up your bill, H.R. 390, providing assistance to Christians in Iraq and Syria. What is your reaction to that?
Relieved, overjoyed. It's still not out of the Senate, but I expect it will be now. I introduced that bill September 9th. Last year. It took a while to get it through the House, but we got it through. As you know from your trip to Erbil and your meeting with the Christians, they were left out by the previous administration. I was shocked. I had 9 congressional hearings dedicated to trying to say, President Obama, please get funding to the Christians and the Yazidis who are suffering horrifically, as IDPs, internally displaced persons. If it wasn't for the Knights of Columbus and some of the others who came up with tens of millions of dollars, we would have had more deaths, lack of shelter, and of course medicines. It's about time, with all the billions we have poured into humanitarian relief for the refugees, not to exclude the Christians and the Yazidis. This bill will ensure that they get that funding and that help.
Thank you so much, Representative Chris Smith
thank you.
of New Jersey.
Thank you, Lauren.